the ABA conference. Are you here for Hawaiian?
Hey everybody, my name is Kate Wiamer and we are here for a very special edition of Coffee and Questions. Currently, we are at Being Around Town in Waikiki for the HABA conference. Here I have joining me May Beaubrun, and she is actually presenting with Brett DiNovi in a few hours on OBM and diversity and inclusion and how to implement that and apply that to your organization. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
This is a beautiful location.
Yes.
But I'm asking you to take some time away from the conference to answer a few questions.
No worries, no worries.
So other than the fact that this is obviously a beautiful location to hold the conference, what makes this conference a little bit different than any other conferences that you've attended so far this year?
The simple answer, it's Hawaiian. And I know that sounds too easy, but what I mean is that the culture is truly enmeshed in everything that we're doing. Like, for example, before we started, there was a blessing. And it was spoken in the native tongue. A lot of the speakers are specifically talking about, using vocabulary like aloha and mahola right into their presentation, which is helping me to learn a lot more about the conference and just how immersed the culture is. Like, I think that in other conferences I've been to, you had highlights of the city, but you didn't really get any of the history of it. That's completely different here at HABA.
Welcome, and I'm really transparently speaking, I'm amazed at the vibes at this hour at 4:00 p.m. And we're going to be really respectful of your time. And I realize May Beaubrun and I are the only ones standing between you and a bunch of Mai Tais, and so we're gonna make it gives us a little bit of pressure. So I hope we do okay. The first thing I just wanted to say about the culture here in Hawaii, it's tremendous when it comes to, like I said, I can't think of a better word, but the vibes, the kindness, the compassion, the people that I've met just walking around out there. It's a lot different than Jersey. Anybody here from New Jersey? I'm used to being at a red light, and within half a second, if I don't move and someone's behind me, they're honking at me. And in Jersey, they give you the finger. So people are just exceptional when it comes to what I've experienced so far, and May has too. So I just wanted to mention that.
So outside of this conference, obviously being very different, how have you been enjoying it?
What's interesting is that there's a single track for this conference. And at first I was disappointed because I like to be very busy and I'll even within one time slot visit different ones. So I'm like, now I'm stuck here, but I actually now am appreciating the fact that it's one track because there's lots of connectivity between presenters. There's a lot of engagement from one presenter to the next. And it's almost as if the whole conference is staying on this theme. And it all goes back to Hawaiian culture.
It's so funny that you bring that point up because as you were saying it, for somebody like me who's extremely indecisive and has to weigh all the options and look at all of the speakers and all of the topics, it's a little overwhelming for me. So I actually enjoy the fact that it's a one-track conference. That way it's just kind of like, this is what you're doing for the day, here's your itinerary, and it's just very, I guess, mindless in a sense.
Yes.
And I don't feel like I'm missing out somewhere else. So that's so funny that you brought that up. We have very opposing views on that.
Right. But it goes back to this idea of family because everything we're doing is communal. Like this way, the blessing was communal. During meal times is communal, and just reinforcing that value of family in Hawaiian culture.
I'm always intimidated when I'm doing these talks because everybody here, it sounds so brilliant, but also because as I'm so immersed in the culture here and just right from the beginning where there's a blessing before we eat, it's just been, before we get things kicked off, I'm like, that is so Hawaiian, man. I'm like, who would want to hear about diversity, equity, inclusion when we're already in such a state where everyone is so immersed in everything?
So I know you've attended quite a few talks. What is something that you learned from one of the talks that you've seen so far at HABA?
I think I learned how Hawaiian culture is like ABA, or good quality ABA, I should say. Because something that Dr. Bailey actually said during his keynote which was the second day of the conference, is that what he noticed was that it's the way that ABA is being practiced here in Hawaii is not to make the learners better, but really just to make them like the best version of themselves that they can be. And it's not about like changing them inherently, you know what I mean? But just kind of figuring out what their goals are and also helping them to achieve those. The keynote yesterday was phenomenal and is native to Hawaii and gave so many good examples. A lot about fiction and folklore, but it was tied in well. Like for example, the stigma of having a child with a disability and how it's displayed in Hawaiian culture through folklore. You know, there was an individual, I apologize, I don't remember their name, but had a child and the child was a string. And everyone said, the string is no good, it's defective, it's broken, it's not even like a real child, get rid of it. But you know, you can kind of see how the alignment to when a child is born, unfortunately, with a disability, and how it's seen as less than and not good enough. But, you know, fast forward, that string was actually able to save its mother's life. When she was falling, she held onto that string and was able to climb up it for safety. So it shifts the mindset a bit that if it's not the purpose, that don't impose what you want on somebody. Like everybody has value, everybody has purpose, and it's more a responsibility to help them achieve that.
Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, this is a very special edition of Coffee and Questions here in Hawaii. I know we're only here for a short period of time, but this is really awesome, and I love hearing all of your feedback about the conference.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and hopefully I can come back again.
Thanks again, guys. See you next time.